Welcome and good morning. Apologies for a little bit of a delay in starting the call. I had to get my iMac fired up as for some reason it was shut down. And sometimes when it updates, it just takes a little while. So I do apologize, guys and girls. Today's lecture is going to be a monster. I really think a lot of you will take a lot of benefit from it. And I am very, very confident that not only will you be able to apply a lot of it yourself in your day-to-day life, but I definitely think it's a lot of things that you can share with your clients. Because generally, I can imagine a lot of you probably have most of your troubleshooting with your lifestyle clients down to just poor time management and down to not being effective with utilizing the time. It's something that I feel like a lot of guys that I have worked with that even have corporate jobs or mainly coaches themselves always suffer with. It's just allocating enough time to be effective with the time they have available, and then essentially have more time, have more freedom, and be able to not only have better adherence, but have better downtime with your partner and not feel like you are having to work all day. Because I can promise you, the power of being able to zone in and the power to be able to actually lock into your daily tasks without trying to multitask is crazy. You can get so much more accomplished if you try to lock in with one task at one given time. It makes a tremendous difference. Now, guys, some of you that are able to, please get your cameras on just so I can see you all on the call as well. It's always great to see faces, guys. So whenever you do jump on these calls, please get your cameras on. That'd be fantastic. Whatever you are doing, I want to see your faces. I want to see that you're all listening. I want to see that you're all paying attention. So please get that done. That would be amazing, guys and girls. Now, I'm going to share my screen and we can begin the call. If there's anyone that has any questions off the back of it or anything that you want me to elaborate on a little bit more or anything that you're struggling with in particular yourself, then please feel free to reach out. Again, guys, remember, both myself, Magda, and Meg are here to help you in every single way possible. We are not just here to coach you. We are not just here to give you the tools. We are here to support you in every single way we can to the best of our ability. That's what coaching is all about, right? So today, all about time management and how you can be more effective. I am going to give you a full breakdown of some practical tools that you can use yourself and some considerations you need to make in order to make the most out of your time. Time management, in my opinion, and from experience, is the main hurdle standing between myself and success. It was something that used to let me down back in the day, I will be honest. I got very, very busy quickly as a young lad, as a young boy. And the biggest hurdle on my way to becoming the person that I am today was my time management. I was always late back in the day. I was always feeling like I never had enough time in the day to complete my tasks. And I always felt behind. And that was generally down to not having well enough structured days with my tasks and not having any consistency to my days, which is by far the hardest and most simple thing that you can do when it comes to time management. So, the goal of this session, the goal of this call is to give you more freedom, more time, more power, and essentially more success. Smart time management, guys, will not only increase your productivity, it will reduce your stress levels, it will give you back control of your day, and it will certainly improve your work-life balance with family, health, and your passions. The main thing that I want to see you guys achieve is not just success outside of the gym and inside of the gym, but I want you to all be able to live a tremendous life with your family as well. It's all good and well doing well in business and bodybuilding, right? But you need to make sure that you are not neglecting your loved ones and you are doing your best to have the right balance in place. And to a degree, we can all argue that there is no balance when you try and chase extreme success, but only very few of us are at that level. And even then, if you have your shit together, you can always have good enough balance to be able to take care of your family, health, and passions if you get your cards played right. Now, the biggest difference between achieving your goals, guys, and not having the ability to make time for everything that needs to be done is being able to become more effective with your time. So, this is what you have to understand, that you need to value your tasks and then prioritize them based on the impact they have on your goals. Does everyone follow? When you allocate the time for each task, you need to understand the value that task actually has. So when you first wake up in the morning, guys, if you spend 1 hour scrolling through Instagram versus 1 hour of work, which task do you think is going to give you more value? Scrolling for an hour on Instagram or cracking on with whatever jobs you actually have to get on top of your day? Do you understand the value now? One has tremendous value, one simply does not. One leads to procrastination, one leads to more success. So, what can we do to manage our task and what can we do to prioritize them? You can definitely manage your time on a bit of a macro scale. So, this is where we can break things down, where we can macro manage it or micromanage it day by day, hour by the hour, or week by week, month by month, setting goals and targets and breaking them down on a day-to-day basis. What I like to do on a daily basis is set myself targets of the amount of work that I want to complete by a certain time of the day. So I will give you an insight into how I structure my days. By 12 o'clock in the afternoon, my goal is to complete 90% of my tasks on that day. My priority is to complete the hardest tasks by 10 a.m. Then it gives me 2 hour buffer time from 10 a.m. until 12 o'clock in the afternoon to complete all other tasks that are outstanding. That is my goal every single day. And I treat it as a challenge. I set the goal, I set the targets, I break them down hour by the hour, and then I attack it with intent. I do not do anything that detracts me or takes my focus away from these tasks. And the reason why I'm able to lock into these tasks, guys, is because I understand the value and the importance of these tasks and how much they mean to me. And most importantly, the impact doing these tasks will actually have on my productivity, but also my life in general. If I do not complete these tasks, I am only pushing myself further and further away from my goals. And that's the same principle you need to have when it comes to attacking your day to day with your life. Because generally, when you are super honest with yourself, guys, and I have reflection time on a regular basis with myself, you can always do better. You can always accomplish more, and you can always strive to execute to a better standard. And that applies for everything that you do. So schedule your week on the same time every single day. This gives you not only a great routine and accountability, but scheduling your week allows you to understand what you have to do on certain days with timeframes, goals, breaking them down on prioritizing the tasks that you need to do on these days as well, and understanding the value these tasks actually contribute to your goals. Whether it's bodybuilding or business, it doesn't matter. It all applies in the same principle. And you can actually apply all of this in any job you have. And I promise you guys, you apply this to your day-to-day work and your jobs, you are going to be so much more effective. And then guess what? You probably will get promoted. You'll probably earn more money. We all want that, don't we, right? We all want to be more successful with everything that we do. Now, you can set action points based on the urgency and the importance. If you know some things are more important than the others, schedule them in at the start of your days, not at the end. I see people do this very often where they put off the targets, the hardest tasks. They do all the easy bits. They waste a lot of energy, and then they tend to try and tackle the hard and most challenging tasks at the end of the day where they have the least energy. I want you to flip that around and I want you to actually focus on completing all of the hardest tasks the second you wake up or the second you start your workday. You need to make sure that you take action based on the urgency and the importance of your tasks. Procrastination is a huge one that I feel like limits a lot of people. And I truly believe that procrastination often comes from not being clear of the value these tasks actually have. So you need to create a list of what is the most valuable to you and focus on your actions on the things that you find most valuable in your life, in your job, in your bodybuilding, in whatever it is you are doing. Remember, guys, you are not going to get it perfect from day one. You have to accept that. Creating a routine, creating habits, creating discipline, creating consistency requires repetition. Repetition builds habits. Repetition builds skill. Repetition builds resilience. Nobody gets it perfect at the start, but doing the tasks daily and trying to get better at them and being consistent with them will carry you forward. And this is where consistency with effort over time equals results. And this is not just bodybuilding, guys. This is life, this is business. This applies into almost every single avenue of your life. If you can apply these principles, I promise you, not only you will regain more time, you will be more effective and you will definitely become more successful across anything that you do. Now, I want you to use some extra tools for mastering your time and productivity. I have covered this before on goal setting, and that is using SMART goals. Make your goals specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time bound, and allocate time to them and buffer time to them. Always leave some breathing room between meetings, tasks to handle any unexpected events. You need to make sure that you always plan for what if moments if you have the ability to within your schedule. Some of you that work corporate jobs, you may not have the luxury to have the extra time, but you can still make specific goals that are relatable to your job. You can still have time frames. You can still make them achievable and relevant to whatever it is you are trying to achieve, right? So your goals have to be extremely specific. And setting smart goals will very much be different between setting your smart goals around your job, around your family, around your passions as well. So make sure you have a clear divide of the goals that you actually set. But using this outline makes your job so much easier because it takes away some of the guesswork and random goal setting where some people just make crazy, crazy random goals that are just not achievable. And guess what? If you set yourself a goal that isn't achievable, it's probably not going to happen. If you, for example, have a financial goal where you want to save up £1,000 a month, guess what? It's achievable, right? It's specific. I want to save £1,000 per month. Again, per month. It's measurable. You can measure it, right? Now, it's relevant because you want to have more financial freedom to be able to have more investments. And I would always say, right, my goal is to save, and that's just a brief example. My goal is to save £1,000 per month, and I'm going to work up to that over the next couple of months. So it's time bound, right? You're giving yourself a buffer of 2 months to be able to build up to that. Now, on the other hand, when it comes to bodybuilding, I want to drop 12 pounds over the next 5 weeks. It's a specific goal. It's measurable. You can measure your body weight loss. It's achievable. It's relevant towards your fat loss goal. It's time bound. You've got 12 weeks to do it, right? Something as simple as that, guys, right? It's super, super simple, super easy to do. Now, Eisenhower matrix is another one that I've learned not too long ago, and that is categorizing your tasks. Number one is urgent, important. Number two, important but not urgent. Number three, urgent but not important. And number four, urgent or important. So you categorize each task into a little bit of a pyramid, right? Guess what? Urgent, important gets tackled first. And then you can actually set all the other tasks below it and make sure that you work through your list, prioritizing the most urgent and most important tasks. And then obviously you do have to focus on the quadrant two to prevent any crises. But look, as long as you stick to your time schedule, I don't think there should be many, many crises that ever arise. It only happens really when you start to veer off and you do not get into a good rhythm, or you start to falter with procrastinating or just not being quite as on point with what you are meant to be doing. Now, guys, the power of planning and organization. And that is a huge one because that is something I feel like I can relate to a lot. The way you spend your time can certainly influence your success in business, relationships, and personal growth. I see this over and over again. People spend time on meaningful, or shall we say, less than important tasks. People spend time and energy on tasks or even being in an environment that doesn't actually bring them up. And this could be something as little as spending or hanging around in a gym that is just full of people that are dragging you down. It's like you need to remove yourself out of the environment and you need to remove yourself out of any place that will have a negative influence on you in any way, shape, or form. You are never going to be you're never going to be able to completely remove it. However, understanding how you spend your time and how it can actually influence your success is huge. The more time you actually dedicate to high impact tasks, the more success you can actually achieve, more time you can actually allocate to learn a new skill, more time you can allocate to actually gaining more knowledge, or even more time you can allocate as a coach to having more downtime so that mentally you can actually recover. And that will often lead to better decision making and being sharper when you can actually be there for your clients. We live in a culture at the moment where people just want to grind without understanding that just grinding without actually taking time away or taking the time to recover is often going to lead to you burning out. And then guess what? The second you start to get burnt out, you do not deliver the quality of work that is required from you. And this is not just coaching, this is not just bodybuilding. This will apply in any and every job you have. I mean, Ahmed's a doctor, right? If he gets burnt out, he's not making the right decisions for his patients, right? So you need to understand that being extremely organized and dedicating yourself to completing each task with efficiency and then allocating time to rest is always going to lead to better outcomes. Lack of time is almost never the problem. Poor time management and lack of efficiency is often the problem. So learn about decom learn how to decom oh, I'm not going to say it properly, am I? Right. Learn how to decompartmentalize. Right. I'm going to try and say it, right? You have to excuse me today, but that word is just not going to come out properly today. So you'll have to just read it. Anyway, assign a specific time and a place for everything. Be prepared for some curveballs, such as emergency delays. However, if you plan ahead with your meal timing, with your routine, with your schedule, any curveball that's thrown at you should not be a problem. If you can anyway, if you can do that, you should be able to tackle any hurdle that is thrown your way. Because ultimately it will come down to having a proper plan, staying organized, and most importantly, staying ahead. That is generally what will create not only success, but a very low stress environment that allows you to thrive daily. I always feel like when we are not able to stay on point with our time, and as Jasper said, be selfish with your time, which is something that I have said for many years. You have to be selfish with your time in order to be selfless and give back to others. And that's so important because if you feel like you are constantly giving back to others without having time for yourself, again, you will burn out. The more low stress you can maintain within your environment, more you will thrive and more fired up you will be. The last thing you ever want to do, guys, is wake up, start your day in a negative mindset because you are already behind from the day previous. You want to start your days ahead. You want to start with a clear plan and, most importantly, a clear sense of direction. Now, what can you do to maintain your productivity? And what can you do to maintain your time management? Have weekly and monthly reviews. Check in with your coach. Reflect on your wins and gaps and adjust accordingly. So I don't just want you to think about all the things that you haven't done and all the things that you are potentially needing to fix. I want you to focus, especially if you do journal, I want you to start writing down all of your wins and all of the things you are grateful for. I promise you guys, the impact you just writing these things down and looking at them, celebrating your wins, the impact it has on you is huge. You have to reflect on your wins, but you also have to have honest time of reflection on the gaps that are still there that need working on, right? We do not just celebrate wins. We have honest assessment and we'll look at what else needs to be fixed in order to be more successful and in order to be more effective. Now, batching tasks. Make sure that you are completing one task at one given time. If you know you have a ton of emails to get through, stick to just doing that. Try not to go from a completely different task to another. Put each task into a group. So if you know you've got messages and emails to get through, allocate that 1 hour to just emails and messages. Do not try to do emails for 15 minutes and then do client calls for 15 minutes. Guess what? The focus that is required for this task is completely different to the focus that is required for the other task. So you need to group similar actions together. Putting those actions together allows you to stay in the zone that is required for that given action. Does everyone follow me? Right? Does it all make sense? Or anything you're unsure about? Right, perfect. Automate and delegate. You can use automation tools for emails with templates and even schedule different things. If some of you guys get the same questions and the same emails, right, you can create a template that pretty much gives you the answers to the same emails you keep receiving, right? It doesn't make sense, guys, for you to waste time typing out exactly the same message over and over again, does it? So you can automate some things, and don't get me wrong, guys, you won't be able to do all of it, but some things you can definitely automate. Delegate some of the tasks that do not require your attention. That is a huge one. For me, especially when I first opened the gym, I tried to do everything myself while still paying other people to work for me, which made no sense. If you have staff working for you, delegate jobs to them. That is why you pay them. If you are working in a group environment, delegate jobs to the people that you are working with. That is why they are working with you. We have a crazy mindset as bodybuilders. We're extremists, a lot of us. And a lot of you on this call will be very extreme, as I am. I know that myself. And that's something that can actually hold me back in business sometimes is I try to do every task myself. And guess what? Some people I have employed and some people I have working for me can do these tasks better than me. Therefore, it makes sense for them to do it. You can apply this method in almost everything that you do, guys. And even as coaches, a lot of you can delegate some tasks to other people and essentially focus your time and energy on your clients, which essentially will lead to you actually earning more, even though you may need to spend a little bit of money to the person that may offload some of these tasks away from you. So food for thought, guys, and that can be applied not just in coaching, but in almost every single business, every single avenue of life that you actually have. Now, how to be more efficient with your time. This is now I can move on and actually set some practical action points. And it's all about setting daily non-negotiables, habits and actions that define your productivity. And listen to this, guys, right now, because it's extremely easy to set yourself a schedule, right? And I'm looking at every single person in this call right now. It's very easy to tell yourself that you are going to do something at a certain time. But let me tell you, working with so many people over these years, it's so much harder to actually see people put that into practice. It's so easy to set your working hours and schedule tasks during that window. Guess what the hard part is? Actually doing it and committing and staying consistent and doing it on a daily and weekly basis. So, these practical points, guys, are extremely important. But what is more important is taking action, holding yourself accountable, having other people hold you accountable to actually sticking to it, and then committing. It takes 30 days to build a habit. A lot of these tasks are simply habits that need to be created, and then it will require discipline for you to stick to them, especially if you are self-employed. And again, it often does come down to how much you value your work. And then if you understand that you value your work a lot, that should give you a kick up the arse to stay disciplined, to chase down these things. Because the only thing that leads to majority of people slipping when they are self-employed is lack of discipline and lack of value for themselves. Number one, set your working hours and schedule tasks during that window. Be strict with it. Make it non-negotiable. All of them have to be non-negotiable. Time block your calendar for deep work, breaks, any errands you have, and social time. My entire day is structured to the hour from 6 a.m. all the way to 7 a.m. 7 p.m. onwards is literally time for me to relax with Meg. Before that, it's mostly work, meals, training if it's a training day, and then any calls, any tasks that I have across that time from 6 a.m. all the way to 7 p.m. Use a block timer to stay focused and take recovery breaks. What I personally use, guys, is a little timer like this. I got it from Amazon, pretty cheap. It's just a timer. I've used it for a fair few years, and guess what, guys? I needed it to start with, and I don't really need it anymore because I am so diligent with my time. When I am working in my office, I do not touch my personal phone. I do not touch any social media. The only thing that exists is my iMac, my clients, and that is it. And I promise you guys, because we are so attached, and I would say it's almost like a bit of an addiction to our mobiles. It's very hard to do initially. So avoiding distractions like social media or personal phone before afternoon until your tasks are done is very hard. However, how much more productivity you'll have is crazy. So something that you can consider is locking your personal phone away. What I used to have to do before I actually got used to it, I used to take my personal phone downstairs and I used to put it in the drawer. I would go back upstairs in my office and then I would continue to work. And I would not touch my personal phone until all my jobs were completed. Because guess what? If you have your personal phone at the side of you and you are trying to do check-ins or whatever tasks you are doing, I promise you, you will be looking at it every 5 minutes to check it. And then guess what? When you look at it, you can easily waste 5 to 10 minutes just dumb scrolling. It's a waste of time and it takes away from your focus. Have a dedicated workspace if available and if possible. Working anywhere will cost you mental clarity. And generally, we are creatures of habit. When I walk inside my office, it's almost like a switch is flipped. I am instantly more focused because I have created a routine and an environment where I complete the same tasks and I understand, my body understands that I am required to be focused when I'm sat in this chair because it's work time. So it's almost because autonomous, where I'm sat here, I'm sat in my office, I'm sat in my work environment, and the flip gets switched on. It's very, very easy to do. You have to have a dedicated workspace. Trying to work almost anywhere doesn't work. You're not focused. You'll procrastinate. You'll chop and change between tasks. It makes the quality of your tasks extremely poor. If you are self-employed, and that is point number 6, probably one of the most important points, if you are self-employed, treat your work like a business. Lead like you are the CEO of your business. Build structure, track results, and most importantly, take pride in your business. This is your life. You are your own CEO. Treat it like it is your business. A lot of people that are self-employed treat it like an afterthought. They don't take it seriously enough. They start work times at random days, random times, and it certainly costs them a lot of progress. All clear on the 6 points, guys? Pretty helpful. I know a lot of them probably sound like common sense, but I promise you, these 6 points, if you can actually stick to them and be disciplined with them, they will make a huge difference. Extra tools, 80-20 rule. 80% of your success will likely come from 20% of your effort. Identify key tasks and focus on them. Use time management tools, Google Calendars, to-do lists, Trello. All these things can have a tremendous impact on your productivity if you need them. Set reminders on your phone and automate routine tasks. You all have alarms on your phones. Use them. Set reminders and set times for them. Do a time audit. Track your time for 3 to 7 days. Identify where you are losing time and plug the leaks that you identify. So what I want you to do this week, guys, audit the time you spend procrastinating on social media. Audit the time you spend in between tasks when you are supposed to be working. And then write it down and see how much time you actually lose during your working hours you could be spending actually working. Add up these hours and then see how long extra time you could potentially have to either train, spend quality time with loved ones, or simply allocate more time to your passions and downtime. When you see that, guys, you will be shocked at how much more work you could complete or how much more free time you could have. The whole point of this call, guys, is to give you more power, give you more free time, and ultimately allow you all to understand that having some discipline equals more freedom and more success. Last but not least, guys, protect your energy. Do not just manage your time, manage your energy. Do not waste energy on tasks or people or the things that are going to impact you negatively. Protect your energy, protect your space. Schedule demanding tasks when you're at your peak. For me, it's always morning time. And I did say evening for others because some people claim that in the evening they have more time or more energy. But I promise you guys, with the way our natural circadian rhythm runs, nobody is more productive at evening. Your body naturally slows down. The people that say or claim they are more productive in the evening just simply have a shit routine and a shit schedule. And what happens is they procrastinate all day, they leave a bunch of tasks until the evening, they run out of time, and then they have to crunch 7 hours work into a 3 hour window before bed. And then they're wondering why they're not sleeping and then waking up midday. That used to be me back in the day before I sorted my shit out and realized I was being fucking a loser. So yeah, that was at least I'm being honest, right? At least I'm giving you full insight. Like that literally was me back in the day. I used to claim that I'm more productive in the night, but reality was I just wasn't disciplined enough. I wasn't structured enough, and I didn't value my tasks and my goals enough to prioritize them when I am at my peak, and that is always in the morning. Guys, any questions? Today was a monster. I tried to go as in depth as possible, but we're already 40 minutes in, and I don't want to keep you on for an hour blabbering on. So, guys, has everyone understood everything loud and clear? Anything that you want me to rewind back to, please, please do let me know. And I am always more than happy to share. So just let me know, guys, if there's anything that you want me to maybe potentially talk about a little bit more in depth, or anything that you guys struggle with. I'm all ears. Let me know.
You have possibly something that you want to talk about in the future, and I do have a question as well. So, from my understanding, I'm not a neuroscientist, at least not yet. But there's something called an ultradian rhythm. So, I believe your brain can do like deep bouts or like deep focus for maybe 60 to 90 minutes, depending on the individual. And I want to say you have like maybe 3 or 4 of those periods during the day. So maybe like in the future, touching on basically maybe if it's applicable and if it's legitimate, some of the science that applies to that.
I'm not going to give you science because I'm not a neuroscientist, and I don't really care about science. But what I am going to give you is this little device actually goes up to 90 minutes max. It doesn't go any higher, right? But another thing I've realized is whenever I try to stay locked in and focused, and I mean like focused on my check-ins, my work, any client calls, reviewing form clips, anything that I do, right? If I try to stay locked in longer than 60 to 90 minutes without a break, I'm fucking fried. I lose my focus instantly. And this is why bodybuilding is so fucking great, because guess what? You're eating every 2 hours, right? So for me, I will literally do a work block when I wake up in the morning, full 60 to 90 minutes, right? I will then do a morning walk. I will get back in my office, do another 30 minutes. I will eat. After I've eaten, I'll do a little walk, back in the office for 90 minutes, back out walking. So as you can see, it's like every 60 to 90 minutes, I take a break. And every single time I take a break, I am either eating or I am doing some activity. The so honestly, guys, I cannot stress how important it is for you to guys move across the day. If you are sat down in the office, like if I didn't allocate time to actually move and do some steps, I would probably get 2,000 steps in a day. Now, the benefits of walking, not only its blood flow, not only burning calories, improved recovery, but your brain health as well, your joints, you actually increase protein synthesis. So I encourage absolutely everyone, any time you get in your job, every 2 hours, every 90 minutes, take a 5 to 10 minute walk. The difference you will notice in your ability to focus and your productivity, it's fucking crazy. And do you know the people that claim to just sit there on the laptop non-stop for like 10 hours? I just think, no, you are not working all that time, mate. What you're doing is working for 10 minutes, then spending 10 minutes scrolling your fucking phone, pal, because it's just not possible. Like the smartest minds in the fucking world will not be able to stay locked in for all that time unless they are fucking having drugs. If you're having drugs, absolutely, you probably can. But if you're not taking drugs and you're just sticking to, the stuff that we have, which is any nootropics, caffeine, etc., it's just not possible. Dylan, that was fucking fantastic, mate. Thank you for that question.
And I do have one more specific question. As you know, I'm pretty young. I'm just really getting into this. I would say the past 4 years, I'm doing a good job being selfish with my time. I think I am great at time management. But for like the younger individuals on this call or whoever watches this, what do you think is something that's maybe potential downsides of becoming too task oriented, or something we should at least be like wary of as we progress in this journey?
The only thing you're wary of is like you're going to become more successful earlier. Like, I'll be honest, like I was 24 years old when I had to get my shit together and step up. Before that, my days were a fucking mess. And I only wish I was more tasks and goal orientated before, because I would have been so much further ahead. And guess what, Dylan? I would have been happier. I would have been more effective with my time, and I would have actually had more time, because before that, I felt like I had no time at all because I just wasted time. Hopefully that helps. At least I'm being honest and kind of sharing what I did.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
All good, man. And the thing is, Dylan, as well, when you become more task orientated, right, and you have more time, you're more effective with time. Guess what? You probably have a better relationship because you actually get to spend more quality time with your actual partner. Because instead of you trying to do like bits of work at night, you're actually there. You're present with your partner. You're able to have proper conversations. You're not sat on your phone trying to do replies, or you're not sat on your laptop trying to work. Do you understand? Whereas
Yeah, I,
in past, what I would do, like, I'd waste time all fucking day. I wouldn't accomplish everything I needed to. In the evening, I'd be sat fucking working. It's like you're not spending no quality time with your partner then.
No, and I think that's a great point because I do have that time at the end of the night. I think one thing I struggle with, honestly, is I become so obsessed over getting as honestly as being as efficient as productive as I can that maybe not necessarily time with my partner, but my time with outside family or even friends that can begin to suffer. But I think again that comes back to the time management. Like as you put on the block that social time that has to be part of your schedule.
Absolutely, man. Look, that's where you literally say, right, within my schedule, that is my time for these people, and that is it. Nothing else exists. And that is a huge one that I've learned from Charles Marden, right? I mean, I had a lot of mentoring sessions with my business partner, Charles Marden. Those who don't know, Charles is a legit, like a legit businessman. He owns probably like 15, 16 different companies, owns one of the biggest and most successful investment companies in UK. So like he literally handles billions and billions of money with people that are extremely, extremely wealthy. And he literally drilled it into me so much that if you want more free time and if you want to be more successful, you need to have a clear separation between what time is work time, what time is time for you, and what time is time for your loved ones as well. It's so important to have that balance right. And then even give yourself like a score of how well you're doing with managing it on like a scale of 1 to 10, right? And then if you're getting shit scores across any of them, again, audit what you are doing to do better. Any questions, guys? Guys, hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Hope you have all enjoyed today's call. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. And as always, guys, I will probably do a Q&A, not this coming weekend, but weekend after. If there's any topics or anything that you are guys any struggling with, please let me know. And I can do another lecture on that potentially. And then we can dig into what else we can improve on. So, guys, I love doing these. Thank you all so much. Doing these calls actually gives me a fresh reminder of what I can do better personally. So, guys, I appreciate you all. Thank you. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Well, the rest of it anyway. It's afternoon now. So, guys, thank you. Take care. and have a good one.